This, as a matter of fact, has been 10 years in the making, and this is a testimony of the fact that fintech industry, especially as a sub-arm of the financial landscape itself, is here to stay. And so many of the stories we hear, as a matter of fact, is one that we should be proud of as industry players, either as brands or even in any capacity that we found ourselves. And it gives me great delight, ladies and gentlemen, to be here and to be your anchor man for today's event. I see a lot of familiar faces, some faces I've not seen for quite a while. And it gives me great joy that today is Friday. So I'm going to do a lot of less talking, and then we'll go in straight into the program so that we have some moment for us to actually unwind. We know for sure that the Nigerian Fintech Award has no tie with any fintech company. That means every decision that is being made, as a matter of fact, all recipients is actually decided by a team of the jury who, as a matter of fact, they are independent. They looked at all of the necessary preambles as well as the elements that would have defined the different categories that we have for tonight. As a matter of fact, we have about 11, so to speak, plus. We have the Consumer and Corporate Banking Awards tonight, and we have 5 subcategories in that particular main category. Consumer lending, we have about 3. The payments, we have about 5. Investment, we have 1 winner, as well as financial research and data, which is 2. Banking infrastructure, we have 2. Identity and privacy, 1. Crowdfunding, 1. Cryptocurrency, 1. We have about several in terms of the industry leadership, 8 to be particular. And then the one that is very dear to my heart, the Special Leadership Awards, we have about 14 winners, and these are people who themselves have been distinguished in the industry. And we know so far that to be able to make a difference, you need to be recipients of awards. Awards helps you to be able to create a wide level of mind share in the market. And it's a competitive world. Some businesses never go beyond 5 years. Some never even exist any longer. And for you to be here today, to be recognized, shows the fact that you're doing something right. And on that basis, please, can we put our hands together for ourselves? The more you clap, the faster I will go. All right, my intention tonight is for us to be able to go through the program. We'll close here on or before 12 midnight. So that today is Friday. I can see one of my madams looking at me. You don't worry. It's thank God it's Friday. After all, we have to relax, you know. Every time we are counting monies in different digits. Let's use this moment and just, make the whole quite an entertaining one. And interestingly enough, I see that my keynote speaker is in the house, and I recognize you, sir. That is Mr. Abubakar Sulaiman, MD CEO of Sterling Bank. Please, can we put our hands together for him? This is a familiar terrain for me. I see a lot of friends, I see clients, I see bosses, I see colleagues, I see certainly competitors in the house. And it's such a wonderful thing to see people so fully relaxed, especially when they know that their account balance is in very good zeros. It can only make you smile more. And we only wish you more success because it's important. And this award is definitely going to help you get into the next level. While seated there, I also recognize some of my organs at the top. I recognize Mrs. Ronke Kuye, MD CEO of SANEF, Shared Agent Network Expansion Facility. It's good to see you, man. And I want to say thank you for all your support. You make the ministry move to the next permanent site. And I see Madam Christabel Oyekwere, so former Executive Director of NIMS. You're welcome, man. Secondly, I see Mr. John Obaro, Founder System Specs. It's good to see you, sir. The only time I see you is on the pages of the newspaper and on TV. I keep wondering whether red blood flows through your veins. With some of the stories we hear, it's a great honor to meet you personally. I'll be coming forward for the handshake by System Specs. Perhaps I will have that kind of extension, so to speak. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. I see one of my organs at the top, Mr. Nia Jao, CEO of Data Finance Solutions now, formerly with NIMS, I believe. It's good to see you, sir. You seem not to be aging at all, and that's impressive. I'm happy to see that you look well, sir. I recognize my very good friend, Mr. Emmanuel Bine, the head growth and partnership West Africa for BBC. You're welcome. It's good to see you. I also like to say a big thank you and welcome to Mr. Rashid Adegoke, Chief Executive Officer Algorithm. I recognize you, and I know the recognition list is quite long, and so I'm going to do that. DJ, thank you. I don't need support from you right now. When it's your turn to support me, I will call for you. Thank you. And then Akinwale Ojo of XP, the CEO and MD of XP, we recognize you as well. Thank you very much to be here. And see, tonight is not about speeches, like I said. As soon as I get more names to recognize, I will certainly do that. And it gives me great delight that SANEF happens to have, I see a lot of my friends here from SANEF. I recognize Mrs. Uche Uzoyebo, the head distribution and stakeholder engagement of SANEF. Please can you put a hand together for her? It is important. I also see Mr. Adeolu Adeoshun, the head finance and corporate services for SANEF. You're welcome. And I recognize Mr. Ibeji Yuchuku. These are my friends, and they are people who I'm always excited when I see. And I know I see a lot of familiar faces. I understand the chairman of the jury, of course, is here, Mr. Ikem Oko. Is he here? Can I see him? We want to recognize and say a big welcome to you one more time, sir. All right, I think as the program progresses, tonight we're going to have a very brief fire chat session. And it's going to be anchored by Dr. Mrs. Maki Idowu, the MD CEO of Express Payment Solutions Limited. And then we will have the panelists, just 3 of them that are going to be on seat here, but I see only 3 seats, so we might have to have the moderator perhaps coordinate that. When we come to that point, we will deal with that. And I can assure you that tonight's event is not going to take too much of a time. Mr. Austin Okere, founder CWG, Mr. Musa Dumont, the Director of Payment System Management Department, CBN, is going to be on that panel, as well as Chineye Umba, who is going to be founder Infographics Nigeria is going to be there. I must recognize Mr. Sunday Afolayan, Reverend Sunday Afolayan, pardon me, I think he's a member of the jury. And I see also Mr. Chima Akwaja, who is also a member. As we have more people, I will certainly recognize you all. Every one of us is very important here, and it's good to see that we're all happy and healthy. My name is Stephen Ifalebo Lawson. I host the NTA Business Matters TV program, and I'll be your MC for tonight. It's a great privilege to be here, as a matter of fact, because I know this industry is very important, especially with driving some of the concept that deals with our GDP. Nigeria is going through a very tough time economic-wise, and if we're able to get the fintech system and the space so right, I'm very sure we can leapfrog and get our stories and narratives in a better light. At this point in time, I would like to welcome the event director from Imaginations, of course, with Fintech Technology Publishers, and the person of Mr. Shola Fanawapo to come forward to give his welcome address. Please, can you put your hands together for Mr. Shola? The more you clap, the richer you will be.
Let me start on the existing protocol. so that we don't have to waste our time this night. My speech is on 3 if you have a program. So I won't read the speech at all. I would just love to thank everyone that have made it to this venue this night. The organizer of this event is very, very grateful to you for your time. We want to commend and appreciate all the brands that have been with us for the past 10 years for this journey of trying to celebrate the achievers in our industry, of trying to curate the stories of the industry. One thing that we don't do very well in Nigeria, in this industry, we don't tell our stories very well. That is why it seems that the East African fintech ecosystem is bigger than ours. The reality is that we are bigger. We are the biggest in Africa, but we don't tell our stories. So my appeal to all of us in this room, I know in Nigeria, we give grace to God for everything we have. But the generation coming after us, they need guidance. They need to read stories of accomplishments. So that at the end of the day, they won't tell us that NIMS is even from Ghana. They won't tell us that a certain company from America helped Nigerian to collect payments at the end of the day. So we need to start telling our story. My happiness will be at the end of the day that all the winners of this night will leverage the award. Oftentimes, we go to UK, we go to North America to pick awards and we leverage it anyhow. We don't leverage our own awards. When you tell your story, people listen more than when outsider help you to tell your story. So we need to tell our story more. And I hope that all the brands that have supported us this far, by next year, we're going to see them again. I hope we all enjoy this night. It takes one to lift one. It takes two to build a team. It takes an ecosystem to build an industry. This is our own ecosystem. And that's the reason why we are here. I want all of us to count ourselves very lucky that you are here tonight and we are making history. If you look at the space in Nigeria today, the industry that has given Nigerian the biggest hope in the last 5 years is your industry. So why shouldn't we celebrate? We have all the reason in this world to roll out drums and celebrate. So I congratulate all of you for celebrating achievements in this industry. You are welcome.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Shola. Please, can we put our hands together one more time for him? It takes one to lift one, it takes two to build a team, it takes an ecosystem to build an industry. Interestingly enough, during COVID, it was the fintech industry that actually gave us even further hope. At least we were able to get some kind of palliative, we were able to still do a lot of our shopping, and that's to tell you how important it is. I had the privilege of anchoring an international conference sometime ago, and we talked about how the fintech themselves, beyond just the SDGs, can actually help in addressing of questions that deals with the unemployment as well as entrepreneurship spirit in Nigeria. And I think that beyond all of this talk shop, more to say, we must begin to tell our stories. And it's important, the media is too key, PR is too key. Strategic communication actually help to drive a lot of our brands, not just within our own country and continent, but of course globally as well. I want to kindly recognize some of our partners that have made this evening possible. With your very insightful support in cash and in kind, we're able to host this 2022 edition of the Nigerian Fintech Awards. First and foremost, the headline support is coming in from Flutterwave. Please can we put our hands together for Flutterwave? Thank you very much, Flutterwave. This is quite very thoughtful, and it's a leadership spirit for you to take up that headline support. That is what leaders do, and as a leading brand in the country, we thank you for such an insight. We also would like to say a big thank you to Express Payment Solutions Limited. Please, can you put your hands together for them? The more you clap, the more your companies will succeed. All right, Terms Access, Wema Bank, Infi branches, Inlax, PFS, System Specs. Please, can you put your hands together for them as well? Digital Encode, and of course, Investi Technologies. All of you have made this such an amazing thing. The beautiful thing with sponsorship is the fact that it gives you not just one benefit in time, it actually projects you into the future. And I think every company should take up that opportunity to be able to leverage platforms like this, not just to project their brand, but also to market their businesses, and definitely take a lot in terms of mind share in a very competitive market that we find ourselves.
Okay, good evening. When Shola mentioned the word protocol, I say he stood on existing protocol, I got a bit confused. I've never believed that there was any protocol in the fintech space, so maybe there is something new to learn. We have this impression about the fintech space being so futuristic that you just understand. You don't have to acknowledge. But thank you very much for acknowledging all the important people that have made today possible. A couple of hours ago, I remembered that I needed to be here. I was actually in a retreat with my team. I walked out on them to be here. But when I remembered I needed to be here, I quickly reached out to the organizer and said, what exactly do you want me to tell you as a keynote address? And he responded with one word, disruption, and put an exclamation mark. So I then started wondering, how does a bank, a mid-sized Nigerian bank, tell the fintech ecosystem about disruption? What can I possibly tell those whose entire existence is built around disruption that they don't already know? But then as I reflected on it, I asked myself, why aren't we all disrupting? Because it's such an impressive word, right? It's almost reached a point where if you want to impress your wife, you use disruption. And it sort of suggests that you are about to make things better. But we forget one thing. Less than 1 out of every 100 effort at disruption amount to anything meaningful. We forget that. Over 99% of effort at disruption are either incredibly harmful or result to personal loss by those attempting to disrupt. So it's not all a, lift up spirit, everything is positive thing. We have to think carefully about disruption because it's a double-edged sword. And sometimes I started by asking, why aren't more people disrupting? Let's even assume that we all convince ourselves it's the right thing to do, it's a positive thing to do. Why are there so few people disrupting anything at all? Right? I mean, what is the problem? I mean, why don't we all just, how difficult can it be to disrupt? Because there's no part of that suggests that you have to be certain of the outcome. In fact, the very nature of disruption is that people are rarely certain of the outcome because it's an innovation, it's experimentation. And the truth is that nobody is comfortable with change. If there are people who are comfortable with change, they are human anomalies. They're not normal. And that's why Elon Musk, for instance, is not seen as a normal human being. He thrives in disruption. Those of you who would remember the former central bank governor, Emir Sanusi, he thrives in disruption. These people are few and far between. The average human being just wants things to remain the way they are. But worse than that, change leads to uncertainty. Because when there's going to be a change, you cannot say for certain what that change will be, whether it will benefit you or not. And the more you have, the more comfortable you are, the less you are willing to face uncertainty. And that's the reason people like us, the dinosaurs, do not want to disrupt. Because what happens when we disrupt, we may end up with nothing or everything. But when you approach disruption from a perspective of I have nothing, all I have is this $2,000 that I've saved from the last job, you have only $2,000 to lose. But when the top Nigerian bank today that is making, say, $200 million a quarter decides to disrupt, it stands to lose $200 million. So once you understand the context of that, it is then natural for disruption to happen with those who have the least to lose. Because the upside to disruption for them is they win, they effectively take us out. The downside is they start again. And so it's not so much that people do not understand the value of disruption. It is that the cost, the consequences of disruption, and the benefit of disruption differ depending on where you are. It's similar to a football league. If you are playing a match and you are 3 goals up, that's not when you start to change your play. To the end of the match, 3 goals up. The team that is 3 goals down has every reason to change the play. So conceptually, disruption is something that happens when you are losing or you are not yet winning. But also disruption means different things depending on whether you are disrupting someone else or whether you're disrupting yourself. Because when you think about it, if you try to disrupt someone else, the cost of disruption is more likely to be borne by the person, not you. All that you give up is the sacrifice you make to make that effort. But if the disruption is in a business line where you've already aggregated successes, then you not only stand to lose what you are investing, you stand to lose what you've already accumulated. Again, I'm trying to highlight the reason why those who do disruption the most are those who have the least to lose. And that maybe what I'm telling you is that before you become as comfortable as systems spec, start doing all your disruption, because the moment you get to that point, when they are calling disruption, you are calculating profit, and you are wondering, is this a good idea? But on a serious note, it speaks to why institutions, banks especially, are the least motivated to disrupt. And maybe, just maybe, that is why the organizers decided that they would give us a chance to explain ourselves. But also maybe, it's not just so much that Sterling Bank has disrupted so much. It is that despite the fact that we are already established in the business with over 60 years and could easily sustain existing business model and defend it, we seem to have taken the view that it pays us to take it apart. Just maybe that is why when the opportunity came to speak, they wanted us to speak about disruption. And so I'm going to, first and foremost, speak a little bit about how we can afford to be disruptive. What do we need to do to be able to take on positive disruption as something we should be doing? Anyone who has certainty about the outcome of disruption will do it. If you have certainty, it means you're convinced that this is exactly how it will turn out. So the more certain you are about the outcome of your disruption, the more likely that you will do it. It is the uncertainty, therefore, that prevents us from taking the risk to change things. How do you become certain about something that's never happened before? Because if you are replicating something that has happened somewhere else, you're not disrupting. You are simply executing a strategy that is already well established. And in that case, you actually don't need to be a disruptor. You just need to be a very, very good manager so that you can replicate. How do you commit yourself to something, the outcome of which is uncertain? It means that you need to be so knowledgeable about what you're doing that the chances that your assumptions are wrong is very low, that the chances that your execution would be timely and effective is very high. Effectively, you increase your chance of success by being the most competent person in the field that you're trying to disrupt. In many cases, I've seen people try to disrupt a field, and they have very little interest in understanding why everyone else there is not disrupting, or more importantly, why everyone else is failing forward. I think it's a big mistake. I think the reason why a lot of the startups that we have seen that have effectively come will blow up is not because they are not smart, it's not because they don't have capital, it's because they lack the humility to understand why others have failed. That humility means that no matter how obvious you think it is to you, it can't be that obvious because the people there can't be that stupid. The best example is every time I take an airline, I tell myself that I want to transform the airline industry. That this can be easier than this. I want to build the technology that means that you can sit in your house and you check in and you just climb the aircraft so that the airline is like an Uber. That's what I tell myself. Then once in a while I ask myself, these are really smart people with a lot of money who stands to benefit from rendering this product. There must be more to it. There's a reason why they haven't done it. And as I did my research, I realized that a huge part of the problem has very little to do with the airline, and a lot of it has everything to do with the operating environment and the regulators, and that the only way you can disrupt the airline industry really primarily is to first disrupt the regulators, change how the industry is regulated. It doesn't mean that you're going to copy what others are doing, because you cannot, but you are not validating what they've done. You're simply seeking to extract the knowledge that they have acquired in making their mistake. The other point that I want to make about disruption is we must perfect the concept of low-cost experimentation. In other words, we must be willing to do multiple experimentation, knowing that quite a few of them will fail, but also knowing that the cost to us, even when they fail, is inconsequential in the context of resources available to us. The idea of low-cost experimentation is something that was perfected, was originally something that NASA attempted to do, but I think it was Elon Musk that actually perfected it when he decided to go to space. So rather than a $1 billion experimentation with a rocket, these people were experimenting and spending $30 million and effectively figuring out what to do better. I think if you really want to disrupt something significant, first of all, hone your skills by disrupting something small and learning from it. And effectively, once you get to that level, you are then able to do something significant. I also think that disruptors do not understand the value of partnership in the disruption process. I think in many cases, people assume that to be a disruptor, you have to do it alone. I think it's a big mistake. I think we need to recognize that there are many people that are vested in changing the status quo. And in finding them, what you're doing is you are first and foremost increasing the buy-in in the ecosystem. But secondly, you are redistributing the risk from yourself to your partners so that everyone has an element of the risk, and if things go wrong, you all still be standing. The final, comment I will make about disruption is that in most cases, your partners on the disruption journey are misaligned with the time frame for a successful disruption. A lot of the instances, what I've seen is people expect disruption to happen in the same timeline as your financial reporting period. And once it doesn't happen, you start to see small fights where investors start to drag founders and founders start to drag investors. If your idea is truly disruptive, you have to be sure that those who are funding you are fully aligned with the time that it will actually take to disrupt. Because if you don't do that, what would happen is you have an excellent idea, you do a lot of the heavy lifting, you open up the opportunity, but before you can deliver it, the rug will be pulled and someone else will simply come and write off your hard work. So be sure that your partners are truly the partners that you need. I'm going to round up. I was hoping that I won't use the 20 minutes so that we have more time for the fireside chat. I'm going to round up by saying that it is important that the fintech ecosystem continues to lead disruption. It is really important. And the reason is you are licensed to shake the table. You have every license to shake every table you come across. The rest of us, we are regulated from shaking tables. So what we do is we go under the table and we shake the leg a little. But we can't be seen to be shaking the entire table. So remember, the most powerful tool is not just your intellect, it's not the partnership, it's the fact that today, the freedom you have to undo things, to rethink things, to come at it from a different angle. And in a sense, by the time the watchdog finally realize that you have yourself become a big dog, it is too late for them to undo what you have done. So my advice to you is, please make those changes, create those disruptions, and move so fast that by the time we recognize that you've done it, all we can do is sit down with you and figure out how to make it work for the rest of society. Thank you very much.
I don't know if there's anything I can add to that. Interestingly enough, it's an industry-focused thing. Feeling forward and learning some of the stories from it helps. It's not as easy as obvious as a lot of people imagine it to be. And that has been a presentation by our keynote speaker, the MDC of Sterling Bank PLC, the One Customer Bank. Please can we put our hands together one more time for him? I'd like to invite Demilade Sachs to please just fill in the moment of interlude, and I'll be back. As soon as I'm back, we will move to the next item on our program. Over to you, Demi. Hello, thank you very much. Demilade, that was a very wonderful interview. Please, can you put a hand together for the young man? Let's encourage him. Let's encourage him. It's not easy of very great, distinguished invitees. Okay. I would like to personally recognize the representative of the MD names Premier Owo in the person of Mr. Samuel Oluyemi, please. Can we put our hands together for Samuel Oluyemi? You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, you know, tonight is not so much about speech, but we're just going to have a brief fire chat session to just help us, put some of these issues within context. And though I just had to, call on two individuals who I know in their own right are quite, well, how do I say that, embossed with a lot of what goes on in the industry. And then we'll be looking at all of this as a matter of fact. And to help us with this particular session, I would like to invite the moderator, one of my madams at the top, so I call her. She has served on the board of several companies, including Skybank, May1 Cable Company, Equity Assurance, IHS, NIMS, representing Polaris Bank MD and the mainstream brokers. She's a multi-talented individual with over 32 years experience in finance and IT, and has a PhD in credit management. I'm talking about no other person than Dr. Mrs. Maki Idowu, the MDC of Express Payment Solutions Limited. Please, can you put your hands together for her? I would like to also invite two of my very good friends in the industry. CEO of Mr. Deremi Atonda is going to be helping us in this fire chat session. Please, can you put your hands together for him as he comes to take his seat up front there? And it's good to see you. And joining him is the open data expert that I always look forward to his presentation each time I have the privilege of anchoring an event in this space. And that is Mr. Emeka Okoye. Mr. Emeka Okoye is going to be joining us on the fire chat session. That is interesting. When you know the Boy Scouts rule, which is always be prepared, you know that Emeka has enough to be able to give us some of those deep insight about what is going on in the industry. And so we'd like an extra microphone or two, as the case is. All right, and I'll be helping Dr. Mrs. Amidowu to coordinate this particular session. So this is our moderator here. Gentlemen, the way you are laughing and smiling, no transaction now. When we're about to start this thing, you can conclude transaction. Over to you, madam.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to stand on existing protocols. We're going to be looking at sustainability and roadmap in nurturing and developing fintech talents in Nigeria. We've seen a lot of growth in the industry. We have startups, we have large companies that have gone global. We've seen unicorns come out in this industry. So it's been interesting in our industry. But we also know we've had a lot of issues with talent. So what can we look at, in terms of cooperation? I always believe that we need to cooperate rather than compete. We should be able to work with ourselves. At Express Payments where I work, I know that we partner with a lot of the companies. We work with InterSwitch, we work with Remita, we work with several of the companies. So I believe that the industry is ripe for a lot of cooperation rather than competition. So with my great panelists, I'm going to be asking you questions today. The first I would like to ask, it will be to you, Jeremy. How can we form fintech growth aspiration amidst the turbulent times that we're in?
Thank you. And going straight to the issue, and I think you're right on point about collaboration being the foundation for everything we do. And I think Abaka also hinted at that while he was speaking, talking about disruption. And many people thinking they could actually go it alone. And I think the good thing about it has to do with being Africans, where it is clear that not one person can be a family. And we can easily ride on that. And the typical African environment is where you're never left alone to get things done on your own. And it's not because people are seeking to be part of that glory, it's because there's a vested interest in the next person, there's a sense of community. And I think that's one thing we need to learn to bring back into business here. We seem to be settling for values that exist in some other places, and those, in my view, are not taking us far. And just like you mentioned, we do stuff together. As businesses, Remit and Expressway, we do with other people. And first thing, you hardly can get everything done by yourself. First thing for me. Number two, there are people you can work with who, rather than hold you back, can help you get better. Number three, you need to learn to be open to learn. Learn to be ready to learn from other people. And I think that's a good starting point for this as we navigate the world of business. And as we go around that, we'll see part of it will become investing in others. Not necessarily to be like you. There's nothing wrong in investing in others to be better than you, because at the end of the day, it's about creating value. So I think those may be good discussion starters. Thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jeremy. Very good points. You mentioned investing in others. I think it's something we really need to look at. How do we grow the talent coming behind us? Not just moving on and believing that things would work. So Emeka, I'd like to go to you. How can the fintech industry work together to build talent? And before you answer, it's really nice to meet you, Emeka. I only see you on the chat. You're very active. So we have the Fintech 1000 group, and Emeka is really, really active there. So it's nice to finally meet you in person. So I'd like to hear your views on this. How can we grow talent in the industry?
Okay. The challenge we have in the industry is we don't have much support coming in from the government. Remember that the purpose of the industry is to service the economy. But we also forget that the economy is managed by government. And again, we need to also understand that the job of training people is not for the private sector, actually. It's the government. The government set up the educational system, then the agenda. And that agenda is supposed to fulfill some desire, some ambition of where the country wants to be. And if the government wants fintech to happen, then it needs to support actualization of the fintech dream. It's not enough to come and collect license money and expect to be collecting all sorts of fees. They're supposed to create what they call the platforms and the infrastructure. Which one of it is human capital? So the private sector cannot do it alone. It's not possible. The government needs to identify the opportunities that the fintech community is creating and tap into them, like, how do we make this better? You know, on the platform today, I think I talked something about revenue versus tax mindset. Revenue, it's quite unfortunate we have governments that are so focused about revenues and less about the taxes. Now, if we focus about the tax, it means that the more the company grows, the more tax they pay. And for a company to grow, it needs some form of sustainability. One of it is having human capital. Not only having the human capital, but also creating the opportunities. So fintech can grow bigger if government takes it more seriously. And everybody plays their role. It's going to be a boom. Now, look at what we've all achieved, despite how gloomy the economy is and how unproductive. Think about that for a minute. This is fintech in a consumption biased economy. There's so much that could happen in a production-based economy.
Thank you very much, Emeka. That the government needs to do a lot more. I agree with you. But I think as the private sector, we also have to up our game. So I'll give you an example. I'm the Vice President of the National Institute of Credit Administration, and we kept fighting until finally they've signed it into law. The bill has been passed, and now that the bill has been passed, it was passed August 16 by the President, it was signed. What we're doing as an association is that we're now working with the National Universities Commission to get all the universities to run credits, courses in credit admin in the universities. We're in the process of getting that done. You know, so that's for credit. So I believe that if we take advantage of that, recently we've had a lot of issues with the fintechs that are lending. You know, you can imagine if we partner and collaborate with NICA, which is the National Institute of Credit Admin, to ensure that we get our people trained better on credit. So that's what I'm also looking at. What can we do in fintech? As fintech, what can we collaborate? Why we wait for the government? But we can also do things ourselves. You know, I would look at us as organizations. How many of us actually try to train younger people? If you take the summer holidays, do we actually get young people to come in for coding? Do we encourage them? What can we do? I believe that there are things that we can do as companies to ensure just a little by each of us will go a long way. And that would take me to STEM. How do we get girls more interested in that? What can we do? What do you think we can do to ensure growth in that, having ladies in fintech? Yes, we have quite a number now. I can see my smiling ladies. Yeah, but look at the numbers, look at the percentage, it's still quite low. We need to encourage them. And I look at myself as an example. When I was going to get into university in 1983, and my dad told somebody I was going to study computer science. He was like, why? What sort of course is that? You know, that why? He said, oh, I'm good in maths. And he said, why shouldn't she can go and be a doctor? He said, no, her sister is already studying medicine. People didn't see why we should even go in there. You know, so but now that we're there, and I started coding very early, what are we doing? What's the deliberate effort that we're doing as companies? We had a Windies event yesterday, and I was shocked. In some of the countries, they actually have percentages to say you must have this percentage of ladies in certain positions. So what are we doing to encourage that? In the fintech industry, should we even be looking at a way where, even for the organization, there's a percentage that you must have at senior levels? You know, because we have that in the banking industry. What should we be doing in the industry? So over to you.
Okay.
Any?
So, okay.
Either Jeremy or Emeka.
Okay, so I want to comment a bit on the credits first, then go to as they have passed this law, if the government doesn't think about credit, we have a challenge in digital lending where people don't take in seriousness of data protection laws. Now, the data protection law is owned by the government, regulated, privacy is regulated by government. So the point now is, if we don't design our human capital to understand even some of the policies coming from the government, then it becomes a problem in the industry. It's not, I mean, we can't even curtail the digital lending challenge right now. It's beyond what, there's a limit to what we can do as private sector. It still boils down to responsibility of government. And we also need them to understand their role. They have to be involved. They can't be outsiders. So we need to get the right people who could drive, these paradigms well. Remember, we're also craving for external investment. So if we don't clean up our act, then it's going to reduce, opportunity of external investment. So it's really key that we don't keep things to only private sector, because there's a limit to what we can do. And that takes me to the STEM issue. STEM is not a play for private sector alone. Is one of the reasons why today Africa is where it is. If you check any STEM country in the world, the government leads science, it leads technology, it leads mathematics, it leads those initiatives. And that's the way, private sector can't scale science. Let me give an example. First, basic research, that's the research where you don't get anything, that you might not get anything profitable out of it, can only be paid for by government. No private sector would have paid for America going to the moon, because there was no business model, that could explain what will happen after they come back. That's what governments do. It's the consequence of those research that you now see we have more of applied research, which private sector comes in. So there are things we can't do alone because it won't scale well. So we need everybody to take responsibility, for their own part. Yeah, we need to do what we need to do, but we can't do much, beyond what we can.
Okay, maybe you just speak to that since we're talking about talent, right? And Abubakar said a few things I'd like to refer to, talking about disruption. And government, most often, is not a disruptor. The issue you're talking about is at the art of disruption. Number one, we have a fintech industry today that is thriving, a fintech industry that is challenged on account of talent. That challenge today is oblivious to government. Government is contending with many things, and I think the art of the question is, what can we ourselves do? So Emeka is talking about what government can do, but there needs to be a complementarity, yeah? One of the things we need to do is admitting there's even a challenge and we're talking about it. Many times we either ignore or wish away problems, but talking about it is the first step. We have admitted. Number two thing, also at the art of today, collaborate to solve it. Quite a number of times, each person is trying to solve the same problem in silos. That's not going to get us very far. So what are those things we can do? And you had hinted at some things. Many companies typically will want to organize, my own summer coding camp. Your own. Imagine 20, 30 fintech companies say, we are having the Nigerian summer coding camp. This is Nigerian Fintech Awards, right? Just think about the potentials. We're going to be able to achieve a lot more. The other bit of it is giving opportunities. And that's why I'm going to link it to the fourth thing I want to say, which is advocacy. Just think about it, right? During COVID, the country was about shut down for about maybe 12 months, 14 months. Ask yourself, what happened to the Suez program? What was happening? Who was supposed to respond? What was school supposed to do? Number two, what happened to the coppers? Within that window of 1 year, where there wasn't anything, how did we respond? Guess what? The industry responded somewhat. You certainly leverage remote work by putting some things in place. That was another opportunity we probably missed. So without forgetting or losing sight of this response to talent, the last bit of it I'm going to talk about is advocacy. Because there must be an intersection between business and government.
Government is not waiting by the street to do what Emeka has said. We must make it happen, and that's why I want to give kudos to those who have been meeting on different platforms representing the fintech industry with the presidential aspirants. Creating an agenda from now. You're not waiting to talk about revenue or taxes when you have not laid the foundation. So those conversations must continue. Thanks to you and others who brought the credit administrations in, it's in there.
For the government, but as fintechs, we need to act, because what's happening today, we are poaching staff from ourselves. I mean, in 2020 in Express, I recall taking staff from InterSwitch, and then this year, InterSwitch is taking my staff. And I just said to myself, any man I'm going to call Mitchell and say it's enough. So really, we're just going round and round, you know. So I believe that we must take it upon ourselves to grow the talent we need in the industry. We have to work together. Just as you mentioned, imagine if, as we're having FinTech Awards, a lot of FinTechs come together and plan that summer thing, plan different things. How can we get more talents in the industry? Because whether we like it or not, we're all suffering it. A lot of them have japat, and that's the truth. And with dollar hitting where it's hitting, I think we're going to lose more. So we really need to come together and look at ways of improving. Okay, so I'd just like you to talk generally. How do you see the industry? What are the things? Because we have some startups. What do you encourage? What would you like to encourage startups? What should they be looking at? What are they? How do we encourage investors to come into the industry? And after that, we'll throw it open for questions.
Okay, like I mentioned before, you know, we've achieved all this in a consumer-based economy. We've done so much. I mean, we've done well, extremely well, you know, in a very poor economy. So that means the potential is huge. For me, the first thing I always tell any company I meet is for them to take data seriously. Data is something we need to take, you know, beyond the hype. Data is probably the most valuable asset we have right now. So we need to start investing in it because it can unearth a whole lot of things. People, I mean, it's easier for me to say this thing. It's a little bit harder, but once you come in, it becomes easier. So data should be priority. I want every financial organization, both startups and FIs, traditional FIs, to have their data strategy right. Because if you get it right this period, most likely it will take you, you know, well into the productive economy that we envisage for ourselves. Not only that, there are other sectors of the economy that is about to boom. Fintech needs to see their relevance. What we hardly talk about is fintech and government. People have not really figured out that digital government is actually fintech. If you look at it, fintech should be supporting government's digital initiatives. Unfortunately, we are not at that level, but you know, these are new areas, you know, that will come in. Then we talk of things like urbanization, which is gathering a lot of talk, which can also change the face of fintech. So the potential for the ecosystem is huge. And despite all this, the educational system is not even involved. We have not tapped into the research capabilities of our educational system. So, and we've not tapped into possibilities of policies based on research outcome. So, what we have created here is big, and we really need to give ourselves applause. The potential is way more than this. So I'm very positive about, you know, what is about to come.
Thank you. Jeremy?
Yes, as you're talking about startups and you're saying, what can we do? It's just to continue to think about the opportunities around us. The opportunities are endless, and that's the honest truth. The society continues to evolve, and for every evolution cycle, there will be new opportunities. There will always be new opportunities. And still talking about the theme of disruption at this event, quite a number of the supposed matured fintechs, if you go to check their trash bins, there will be things they wish they had done. And these are some of the things that they can see through startups, And that can form another layer of the fintech ecosystem. Things you believe could be done differently. There's nothing wrong in setting up these things to be done in some other ways. If you don't do it, someone else is going to do it anyway. The other bit of it is to find ways of providing mentorship to startups. And the opportunity exists. There's no reason why anyone should make the same mistake twice. There's no reason. And we can benefit a lot more from this. The startup bill has become an act, it's been signed, but just check and find out. We get hard on ourselves that we don't tell our stories enough. If we don't tell our stories, it used to be in the olden days that if you steal the king's trumpet, where are you going to blow it? Steal it first. Blow it, let the world tell the news that you stole the king's trumpet. Then you tell them what you want to tell them. That's because you are not listening to me. There are a number of successful things we've done here in Nigeria that nobody is talking about outside of Nigeria. We need to bring that to the front burner. Economic diplomacy, riding on the successes of Nigerian fintech, and that can be another chain of startups for the African continent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like the idea of blowing your own trumpet. We should do more of that, really. And then the mentoring part of it, it's important, I think, because we have a generation of fintech CEOs that are moving. They're almost moving out. So we need to ensure that we mentor the younger ones that are coming along the way. So thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, I think our time is up. So I'd like to thank my panelists, Jeremy and Emeka. Thank you so much.
Please, can we have a group picture? Let's have the microphones. Go into the awards for tonight, the reason why we are here. Quickly, I would like to recognize the following individuals in our midst. Mr. Ishaka Ajani Lawal, the Executive Director of Lotus Bank, you're welcome. Please, let's put our hands together for him. The more we clap, the more successful we will become. Okay, and then Mr. Olufumisho Toki, the General Manager, Lotus Bank as well, we recognize you. Mr. Tokpedare, Executive Director, Inlax, and Founder, Tokpedare Foundation. And then Mr. Suraj Wahab, General Manager, Inlax. Please, can we put our hands together for them? This looks like the Inlax family. And then Mrs. Shola Afolabi, AGM Access Bank, you're welcome. It's good to know that you're in our midst. But it gives me a particular interest as well as pleasure to welcome the Chief Executive of Stanbic IBTC Financial Services and the former chairperson of CBU, as a matter of fact, Mr. Stanley Jacobs. Please put our hands together for Stanley Jacobs. Thank you very much for blessing our ministry. We thank God for people like you. You make things work, and we wish you a wonderful time in your new position. The beautiful thing about this industry is one that I'm familiar with, and each time I have the privilege to anchor events here, I feel at home. But tonight, it looks like I'm not the one receiving an award. The award is going to be given to people who, in their own rights, are distinguished. Like I said earlier on, we have several awards tonight. There are quite a number. And then we would like to go straight into the program so that we don't take too much of our time, and then we can go for dinner. From there, we just wrap up the evening. I promised you that I was going to allow you guys leave here 12 midnight, but I changed my mind. And some of us want to go back home early, so I'm going to work towards that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first category has several sub-sessions in them. And first and foremost, I would like to call on my people who are going to help me with the trophies or the plaques or whatever it is we have. But first and foremost, let me invite Global Accelerates. Global Accelerates in the house. You're going to help me present this award because you are the sponsor for this award, which is the best mobile banking under this category, consumer and corporate banking. And this is for a bank with the most robust, secure, and efficient mobile banking service. Please let me have Global Accelerates, somebody from Global Accelerates to come up. From Global Accelerates, great. It works very globally. All right, so you're going to help me present this award. Please, can we have that? Which is for the best mobile award under the consumer and corporate banking category, which is for a bank with the most robust, secure, and efficient mobile banking service. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner actually is star 737 Ash, GT Bank. You're happy? Thank you very much. Please, can I have my ladies who are bringing the flag? Do I have them here? Gentlemen, where are we? Oh my, we have to hurry this up. Please bring the award for star 737 Ash by GT Bank, and is presented by the sponsor, Global Accelerators. All right, ladies, we have to do better. This is not a catwalking show. It's award night, and we have over how many we are going to do. Which one is this one? Okay, thank. Please open it and let me have it. Then you give them the box back. It's their property. You have to take it out from it. All right. Not to worry, we are going to organize another beauty show for the Miss Beauty Pageant Fintech category. Let me have that. Thank you very much. All right, so you can present it. Are you guys good? Are they okay here? Please, can you move to this point because we don't want to. It's okay, it's okay. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is incredible. All right, Global Accelerators, thank you. We can go back to your seat. They are the sponsors of this particular subcategory under the consumer. It's for best digital banking platforms, non-interest banks. And I would like to call on Mr. Rashid Adegoke, who is the CEO of Algorithm, to please come up to help me present this next set of awards. Put your hands together for him. If don't clap, we will give you an award. I will look at you if you want. I will give you. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, category is the best digital banking. Lotus Bank. Lotus Bank. Lotus Bank. Thank you, thank you. Yes. Congratulations to Lotus. Oh, thank you, Digital. This is the way it's supposed to be. Thank you. Please watch your step. Watch your step. I'm not sure whether we have insurance to cover anything yet. The next one is for the best innovation in agency banking. This is for a bank or mobile money operator, MMO, or a super agency firm with the most innovative, secured, and customer-friendly agency banking operations. And ladies and gentlemen, the award goes to First Money by First Bank Nigeria. First Money Nigeria. Can we have that?
Time to take over. You don't care if I go with you. Back down to the sea. I know the flow pastor to be fun. Father, see me, I don't easy my ball. I won't focus on you. Oh my God. I never play. I need no more play. And you don't know it. You don't know all of us. I never play. I need no more play. And you don't know it. Let's
gentlemen, the next award is for the best innovation in PSB. That is for a payment service bank that is very innovative, secured, and customer friendly. And the winner is actually Smart Cash PSB. Smart Cash PSB. Smart Cash PSB. Congratulations. The next award, ladies and gentlemen, is for the best digital bank, for a digital bank that provides convenience account opening in minutes, intuitive loan applications, scheduled payments, personal digital card management, trustworthy security, and personal finance management, PFM. And the winner is a vote by Polaris. Polaris, vote by Polaris. Are they here? Should I take their award on their behalf? Thank you so very much, sir. Please can you give a round of applause for him? He's done well. Okay, thank you, Did top. You know, sometimes people are wondering what exactly is going on. How do we know if these people actually earned this award? So before I go ahead, I'm going to invite to make a presentation the chairperson of the jury, who is represented here by Mr. Chima Agwacha, to please come up and help us understand these people who just won this award. What exactly did you guys look at? And let's determine what the next set of awards is going to be like. What were the criteria exactly? Was this that you did man no man? Was all of this independent? Because this award is one that stands on its own name, its own credibility, as well as one that has not been influenced by whatsoever you can imagine. So we don't need to off the mic in this regard. So please come and let us understand this. Ladies and gentlemen, can you put your hands together for him?
Skip my.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing the chairman of the jury, Mr. Ikem Oko, who is unavailably absent. He's held up in the East, he lost his in-law. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to chair the jury that awarded the 2022 Nigerian Fintech gongs to the winners. When the organizers asked if I could if I could like to contribute to the composition of a jury and lead the team, I concurred. My colleagues expressed interest in the project and we formed a team. We had so much to do. We sifted about 60 entries in 10 categories. From this number, we have selected the winners you have tonight. Here is my appeal to the winners. Please leverage the awards for marketing, branding, and bragging purposes. This is the essence of the awards for your brands and businesses. You have armed the limelight. The goal of the Nigerian Fintech Awards is to inspire the fintech players to build a collaborative and competitive ecosystem. We can together when we do this. We can win together when we build a bigger and smarter ecosystem. This will further attract local and foreign venture capitalists into the ecosystem and help birth more unicorns that will become decacons and hectocons. Nigeria has some unicorns. I'm sure you are sitting next to an employee of a unicorn company. Unicorns and fintech startups valued at $1 billion or more. We need decacons Fintech startups valued at more than $10 billion. We also need hectocons, Fintech startups valued at over $100 billion. As of March 2022, Indonesia has 12 unicorns. With the people in this room and in the Fintech ecosystem in Nigeria, we can produce a decacon or a hectocon. Invariably, let us increase the number of our unicorns to 60 by year 2023. That will make the next edition of the Nigerian Fintech Awards a bumper celebration. Meanwhile, congratulations to the winners tonight. The awards will inspire the winners to build a better fintech industry for you and for Nigeria. Thank you. Congratulations.
CB has been a huge supporter of some of our ministries and recognize you. Okay, great. We'll see you again. So we will do that other presentation still. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do right now is that I am going to take mouth. This is something that obviously is based on its own value and credibility. Before I go ahead, this second part of the awards, I would like quickly recognize Madam Folasade Femi Lawal, the head of payments of First Bank of Nigeria, and of course also Vice Chair for CB. Please can we put our hands together for her? CB has been a huge supporter of some of our ministries and we recognize you. Okay, great, we'll see you again. So we will do that other presentation still. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do right now is that I am going to take a short interlude so that I can get some of my awards in proper procession. That way we don't have to have any hiccups. And so I will invite Demilade to please come up and for the next 2, 3, 4 minutes, kindly give my wonderful audience some interlude while I come back afterwards to get this finalized. somebody. All right. Thank you. Please, I would like to invite System Specs to please come up. They are going to help me present this next award. They are sponsors of the category which is under consumer lending, the best consumer lending product for a fintech or bank with an influential lending product. Please, can I have System Specs come up? May I invite Mr. Alvaro to come up? System Specs. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. That is for a fintech or bank with an influential lending product. The winner is Payday Loan by Access Bank PLC. All right, do we have them here in the house? Access Bank PLC. I thought they came in. All right. So we're going to deliver that. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. All right. There. Okay, please, can I have Mr. Ni Ajao to please come up? He's going to help me present the next set of awards. All right, this award is actually for the best peer-to-peer lending platform for a peer-to-peer. All right, this award is actually for the best peer-to-peer lending platform for a peer-to-peer lending platform that is reasonably influential on both sides of the business, and actually goes to Kia P2P Marketplace, but they are not around, so we are just going to skip that. While the next award is for the best loan data service provider, ladies and gentlemen, for a credit bureau service provider or a loan data service provider with innovative and impacting solutions. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, is Remitter Data Services by System Specs. Alright, thank you. The next award is under the category of payment, and this is for House Secure. The winner is Infi Branches Technologies. Infi Branches Technologies, are they in the house, or I should take it on their behalf? Okay, they're here. Infi, thank you. Congratulations. All right, the next award is for the best point of sale company for a fintech firm that provides innovative, secure, and efficient point of sale services. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Global Accelerate. Global Accelerate's best point of sale company. Global Accelerate, congratulations to you for a fintech firm that provides innovative, secure, and a point of sale services. They are coming, right? Okay, I thought I was going to take it on them.
Love is not enough, baby. Come to me, Molo. Love me or you hate me, know me. No messing me, Molo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the outstanding achievement in card payment services, for a bank that provides an innovative payment card solution, it gives me great delight to announce the winner is First Bank. First Bank.
Love is not enough, baby. Come to me, Molo.
All right.
Love me or you hate me, know me. No
payment services, First Bank. The next award is for Best Government Payment Platform, and that is for a fintech that provides an innovative, efficient, and secure payment platform for G2G, G2P, and G payments. The winner, of course, is Remita. Remita! How many awards so far for Remita tonight?
Love is not enough. Baby, come to me.
This is interesting.
Love me or you hate me, know me. No mess with me, Mologo.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please can you put your hands together for Mr. Nia Jao for such a wonderful job. Thank you, sir. May I invite Madam Christabel Oyedekweri to come up to help me present the next set of awards. Madam Christabel, please put your hands together for her. You're welcome, ma'am. The next award category is actually under investment. Please let her watch your step, ma'am. Thank God for that. And of course, the first in that subcategory is for Best Stock Trading App, for a mobile app that creatively and sustainably gives investors the confidence to venture into the stock market without constant spoon feeding. Ladies and gentlemen, the award winner is Piggy Fests. Is Piggy Best here? Alright, we'll just take that on their behalf. And then the next award, as the case is, under the same category, is the Financial Research and Data category for Best Financial Research and Data Company, for a company that provides outstanding research and data services for the industry. And the award goes to Efina. Efina. Efina is not here. Okay, so madam, we'll just hold on for a while. Efina is not here. For Outstanding Legal Service Award for a legal firm that provides outstanding legal services to the industry, the winner is Olaniwu Ajayi LP. I hope they are here. Olaniwu Ajayi LP, Outstanding Legal Service Award.
If you're feeling good tonight, we signify and identify. We singing for you tonight. If you're feeling love tonight, we signify and identify. We singing for you tonight.
All right, thank you, congratulations. Madam Christabel, I want to say a big thank you for helping me out with this. Please put your hands together for her. I would like to invite Mr. Emeka Okoye to please come up to help me with the banking infrastructure category. And the first in that category is the Outstanding Self-Service Payment Technology Provider for a fintech firm that creatively and sustainably digitizes bank operations, facilitates digital consumer interactions, and allows banks to offer digital self-service solutions. And the winner is Inlax.
If you're feeling good tonight, we signify and identify. We singing for you tonight. If you're feeling love tonight, we signify and identify. Singing for you tonight. When I dance, be more chucky on you. I don't know, show.
Alright, the next award is for Best Banking Infrastructure Software, and that is for a core banking software offering a unified banking experience anytime, anywhere, and on any device. The winner is One Bank by AppZone. One Bank by AppZone. One Bank by AppZone. Do we have AppZone in the house? One Bank by AppZone. Alright, we'll just move on to the next award, which is still a category called Identity and Privacy, and that is for the Best ID Management Platform. And I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Emeka Okoye as he takes a seat. I'll invite Champs PLC to please come forward to help me present this award. They are the sponsors of the Best ID Management Platform under the Identity and Privacy category. Can I have Champs PLC? Champs PLC is in the house. Champs? Is Champs PLC here? Are you from Champs, sir? Okay. You're one of our sponsors. That is why I will not say what is in my mind. So that next year, we will be able to continue this relationship. Thank you. All right, and for an identity platform that manages the users' identities and devices centrally, the winner is BVN by NIMS. BVN by NIMS. BVN by NIMS. Is NIMS not in the house? Okay, I will take it on behalf of NIMS. Where's the award? I'll take it on behalf of NIMS. Wait, I don't know them. I don't know them. It's like this category of people who just take a stroll down the aisle. Congratulations, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much. You can all go back to your seats. Congratulations. I'd like to invite Mr. Emmanuel Obine to please come up and help me with this next award. And that is under the crowdfunding category for the best crowdfunding platform. And this is for a platform that creatively enables individuals and organizations to raise money to finance projects and businesses from a large number of people via online media. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Fund a Course by System Specs. Fund a Course by System Specs. Alright, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel, for such a wonderful job. Please, I would like to, under the industry leadership category, may I request for the presence of just a moment. I think I have to adjust this program so that I get this. Let me don't give an award that belongs to somebody else to another person. I'll be in big trouble. Alright, the presenter Akinwale Ojo, CEO of pardon me, please come up. You're going to help me present this next award. CEO SP Award. I know I saw him earlier on. Please, can I have Mr. Akinwale Ojo? Is Mr. Akinwale coming? All right, if I'm not having Mr. Akinwale Ojo, please, I would like to invite Mr. Stanley Jacobs to please come up and help me with this award, which is for the best employee benefits solution for an HR and payment platform that gives user access to a wide range of services. And the award, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Remita. Thank you very much. It's all part of the System Specs family. I want to thank you very much, Mr. Stanley Jacob. All right, you can take your seat. Please put your hands together for him. At this point, I would like to invite Mr. Obaru to help me with the next set of awards. Please, can you put your hands together for him? All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for the best Fintech CEO, that is for an outstanding Fintech CEO that has influenced the industry in many ways. The winner is Tosi Eniolorunda. That's a powerful name. Tosi Eniolorunda, please. The winner for the best fintech CEO for this year's award. All right, Tosi is not here, so we're going to get it across to him. The next award is for the Fintech Salesman of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes for an outstanding marketing professional that has influenced the industry in many ways, Mr. Tokpe Dare. Mr. Tokpe Dare, is he there, or can I take the award on his behalf?
Before my command, be like something. Put that on me, you with your coca body. From my command, be like something. Put that on me, you with your coca body. Cause this your looking for fronting now for me.
Alright, congratulations. For the best employee benefits package for a fintech firm that implements an innovative employee benefits package, the winner is Family Friendly Benefits by InterSwitch. Family Friendly Benefits by InterSwitch. InterSwitch. Are they here, or I should take it on their behalf?
From my command, be like something. Put that on me, you with your coca body. Cause this your looking for something not for me. Wait for me, and no go to me calling. And if I'm looking a fighty, I saw me do. Tell us for me, you baby, small body. Baby, gonna.
Congratulations. Thank you very much, Mr. Barrow. You can have your seat. Please put your hands together for them. The next category is for the best female fintech CEO, and the sponsor is Inlat. Can we have Inlat? They're going to present this award. Inlat is presenting this award. For the best employee benefit solution for an HR payment platform that gives user access to a wide range of services, actually Human Manager by System Specs, which Remita took on their behalf, is still the same, but we'll come on and have that particular one done as the case goes on. However, ladies and gentlemen, the award for the best female fintech CEO goes to Dr. Maki Idowu. All right, you see the women do it better.
Before my command, be like something. Put that on me, you with your coca body. From my command, be like something. Put that on me, you with your coca body. Cause this your looking for fronting now for me.
Alright, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Please, can I quickly invite to present the next award, which is sponsored by Express Payment, and that is for Best Fintech Startup. Can I have Express Payment come up to present this next award? Express Payment, please. And then, though, this award is actually for... Alright, thank you, DJ Top. We're having Express Payment come up. They are sponsors for the Best Fintech Startup. And thank you, it's good to see you. And the award, ladies and gentlemen, for trend-setting a fast-growing fintech startup that is under 3 years, the winner is Vesty Technologies. Vesty Technologies. Are they here? I'll take it on their behalf. Okay. The next sponsor is Wema Bank PLC. Is Wema Bank in the house? Wema Bank PLC, they are the next sponsors for this category, which is the overall best fintech software. And that is for a financial software firm that has deployed software that helps fintech and banks improve operational efficiency. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, is iTeller by PFS. iTeller by PFS. PFS. iTeller by PFS. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, thanks. That's all. You're sponsor for that category. Please, can I invite Vesti Technologies to come up? They are sponsoring this overall best mobile app category. Vesti Technologies, you are the sponsor for the overall best mobile app. Please, can you come up? And this is for a mobile app that helps customers to perform personal finance, crowdfunding, money lending, investment, money transfer, P2P, peer-to-peer lending, as well as every other thing that comes with it more conveniently. And the award winner is actually Alatu by Wema Bank PLC. Alat by Wema Bank PLC. Alat by Wema Bank PLC. To invite Mr. J. Anabraba to please come up. He's going to help me present next category, which is under the recognition awards. All right, the recognition awards, we have about 14 of them or more, thereabouts, 15 rather. Then I'm going to announce the winners accordingly. First and foremost, this award actually goes, which is a special recognition award, actually goes to Mr. Abubakar Sulaiman, MD/CEO, Sterling Bank PLC. Sulaiman joined Sterling Bank in 2003. He has provided solutions to several challenging issues in the banking industry. Sterling Bank's contribution has led to the growth of the fintech industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Sterling Bank. The next award is for Mr. Austin Okere. He's the founder and executive vice chair for Computer Warehouse Group PLC. He's an entrepreneur in residence at the Columbia Business School, New York. He's also a member of the World Economic Forum Business Council Innovation and Entrepreneurship, amongst others. The establishment of CWG has led to the growth of the fintech industry. And of course, this special recognition award goes to Mr. Austin Okere, who, as a matter of fact, is ably represented here. We can just have one. Please, can we put our hands together for him? All right, Jade, they have not let you go? No? All right, thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is for Digital Encode Limited, that's a special recognition award. Digital Encode Limited, this is for frontline cybersecurity and consultancy firm that has a capability, maturity model integration license, and it is capable of helping organizations elevate performance across a range of critical business capabilities, data management, and cybersecurity. Digital Encode is a catalyst to the expansive growth of the Nigerian fintech industry, especially in the RegTech space. Ladies and gentlemen, Digital Encode. All right. Please take pictures. Okay. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you can have your seats, Mr. James. Can you put your hands together for him? DJ, you can take over for a few minutes. All right. The next special recognition award goes to Dr. Yele Okeremi, co-founder and CEO, Precise Financial System, PFS. PFS contribution in account reconciliation and check and truncation space is legendary. Twice, Dr. Okeremi served as chair of the local organizing committee for Demo Africa initiative of the United States Department of State and Lions Africa to promote innovation in the technology field globally and connect startup companies with investors. PFS has contributed to the expansive growth of the fintech industry. Congratulations, sir. No, you're not done, sir. Don't be in a hurry. I have you for the next few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is, of course, to the founder and CEO of System Specs Holding Company, Mr. John Obaro. Obaro has led System Specs to become one of the leading software firms in Nigeria. One of his leading software, Remita, which powers the Treasury single account of the federal government, is a household name. System Specs has led to the expansive growth of the Nigerian fintech industry. Congratulations, Mr. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next award is for Mrs. Kofo Akinkugbe, founder and CEO of Secure ID. Mrs. Akinkugbe's group of companies owns Nigeria's first SIM card production plant, Visa, Verve, and MasterCard certified Secure ID. It exports SIM cards to 21 African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, she's been represented here. Hey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to, for the special recognition award, next is for Michelle Elegbe, the founder and CEO of InterSwitch Group. InterSwitch connects all the banks in Nigeria using switching technology, the first unicorn in the ecosystem. InterSwitch makes sure that all the debit cards functions well. InterSwitch bet has led to the expansive growth of the fintech industry. Congratulations to Mr. Michel. Represented here.
The music make it pull up, and I will keep it steady on the slow. Baby, don't tell me that I'm Shawty, I know you like to party. I'ma touch your body, show my body, shake it, yeah, yeah. Baby, got my body. Innocent, no party, yeah. I'm gonna make you happy. Up in my Maserati, baby, up in my Maserati. I say up in my Maserati, up in my Maserati.
Please put your hands together for him. It's important that we encourage him. It's not easy to stand before this wonderful crowd. This award actually is going to Sir Ademola Aladekomon, the founders of Champs PLC. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Computer Society and Computer Professional Registration Council and a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, amongst others. The establishment of Champs and the subsidiary has led to the expansive growth of the fintech industry. All right, congratulations. The next special recognition award, gentlemen, you're not leaving yet, Mr. Nee. He's busy discussing business. Mr. Nee, please, can you come? I've not told you to leave. Look at your assignment. You've not finished. You want to conclude on that investment proposal? The next special recognition award goes to a company that I'm very passionate about and very thankful to. They're an amazing company, as a matter of fact, and that is for NIMS, the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System PLC. NIMS has been as the best information communication and technology infrastructure for automated online operations and effective information and data security to deliver excellent payment and settlement services. Ladies and gentlemen, the special recognition award at this 2022 Nigerian Fintech Award goes to NIMS. Please can we put our hands together for them? I know you can do lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them nothing kill my vibe. Them nothing kill my vibe. Them nothing kill. Them nothing kill. Them nothing kill my wise man said, follow the star. Yeah, you shall find them. It's a bad time. If you hate your enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. But you can never kill my vibe. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. The next award. This is an award I'm very excited about. It's very dear to my heart. And it's a special recognition award at the 2022 edition of the Nigerian Fintech Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, goes to the Shared Agent Network Expansion Facilities, SANEF. SANEF's mandate is to deepen financial inclusion in Nigeria through a robust ecosystem with regulatory oversight and consumer protection, as well as interoperable systems. SANEF's contribution has led to the growth of the Nigerian fintech industry. Ladies and gentlemen, SANEF. I'm feeling vibes on vibes. I'm taking dynamite. I blow your gun do lights. You know I'm just that type. No, them nothing kill my vibe. Them nothing kill my vibe. Them nothing kill. Them nothing kill. Them nothing kill my wise man said, follow the star. Yeah, you shall find them. It's a bad time. If you hate your enemies shine. If you're not a friend of me, enter the light. But you can never kill my vibe. Got here with no sacrifices. Everything was taken. You had to make it. Vibe killer. Me I no go take shit. Vibe killer. At least I'm a killer. Don't take my energy from your partner. And my pastor say I be my healer. Everything I desire. I go this key. My everything. Slow like a river. If you get cover, come on, go and sit down. I go just better. Come on, my jigger. I go just follow my key. I'm feeling very fine. I'm looking down and I'm Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Please, I would like to invite all awardees to please come up for a group picture. Thank you, Mr. Nee. All awardees to please come up for a group picture. All awardees. Please, can somebody help me with this podium? All right, let's smile. The winner smile. Mr. Razak, on live basis, please just stand by.
So you like my tattoos? Tell me I want to be.
All right.
She's my woman. Inside Puna, sweet like sugar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let some of you come down. Are you guys sitting down? This is feeling at home. Congratulations, stand up, please. First band, congratulations. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are they smiling enough? Okay, can we have a winner smile? Can we have a winner smile after 3? I want to hear you say Fintech. 1, Congratulations, Mr. Razak.
Keys. Let me